I'm Sonia Mann, and I'm here with Maria Carola. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's absolutely correct, yeah.
Who is the CMO of Guarda Wallet. I'm from the Zcash Foundation, and we're going to have a conversation about Guarda's story, Maria's story, and how those cross over and intersect with the Zcash world.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for such a nice introduction, Sonia.
So,
very fair. And also we're going to answer some of the questions that popped up on Twitter. It's one of the integral parts of the story. So
yeah, I mean, we said we would, so we're going to. So to start out with, do you want to talk about Guarda a little bit? Like what Guarda does, how long you guys have been around, kind of just the basics.
Yeah, of course. So I'm always happy to talk about Guarda a little bit. So we have started in 2017 with the first wallet. It was a wallet just for Ethereum, single currency for Android, just an application. But it had a very special meaning for the core team because it was the wallet that we wanted to do because there was no convenient equivalent, basically.
So you were like, you felt the pain of trying to hold on to Ethereum?
It was the pain because you couldn't manage all your assets the way you wanted to, and there was nothing on the market, and everybody was like, oh my God, how do we do that? So it was long before the time I have joined Guarda team, but the founders and the core team, the developers, they were like, yeah, why not? Why the hell not? We should do the application. And from that point, it has been developing in very different ways. So at first it was single currency wallets, then it was multi-currency wallets. So when I joined the team, it was already multi-currency wallets, non-custodial, multi-asset, multi-platform. So it's just adding on top of this first Ethereum wallet. So it's just been adding, growing into the whole ecosystem of things revolving around this core of a wallet. So the non-custodial wallet is the very first thing that's important. And around that, we already have exchanges, we have purchases, we have some currency specific perks, we have separate apps like Guarda Shielded, for example.
Yeah.
All of that, yeah. So we have our, so to say, main multi-currency wallets, and around that, it's the whole very interesting, very vivid ecosystem, just under the umbrella term of Guarda.
Supporting so many different cryptocurrencies, do you ever get people complaining that say, I don't know, the BCH people complaining about BTC or vice versa, that kind of conflict, does that come up?
I wouldn't say it's a conflict, because if you are having a multi-currency wallet, you need to be very neutral. You need to form your position, because I work in marketing. I talk to people a lot. So this is a lot of community stuff going on. And what you do basically is you need to understand everybody's position, but you need to know that you're here just to facilitate their convenience. So you're building this product for the users to manage their assets. You're definitely not here to take part in holy wars and stuff like that. And
so it's like your allegiance is to the user or to the group of users rather than to any particular cryptocurrency. So it's the needs of the users, not trying to promote one particular vision.
Users is not separated by the communities they are a part of. For us, users is one big kind of group of people that we need to care about all of them equally, no matter what they belong to.
So it's the ability to to maintain to maintain your multi-currency wallet positioning. It's like you said, you have to be neutral so that you can keep serving every user as well as you do every other user. So it's
you need to be neutral on your positions when you think of the product, of course. When you we're all different. We have all our different stands and stuff like that. But when you think about the whole product, about the whole project, then it needs to be neutral and it needs to be caring. So it needs to care, like we need to care about the community, and we need to translate it, kind of like live stream it through what we do.
That's something that you seem to have a particular knack for. Like you're very responsive. You have a lot of enthusiasm. Like I feel like the way you communicate gets other people excited. Is that just your personality? Is it something that you've like developed more and more? Or?
I'm personally very bubbly when it comes to just like talking to other people and stuff like that. But I think that this is one of our values. So I think it's just a coincidence that we found each other with Guarda, and it has been such a match because we want to be responsive. So we want to actually answer everybody. We want to get in touch. We want to stay in touch, not lose anybody on the way. So the answer can be different. There can be companies that are like, oh, we only answer some particular requests. For us, it's more interesting to have actual live interaction. So the more you talk, the more you get out there, the more you connect to users, to companies, to partners. So it can be like very different things. To instance, after all, like we're literally sitting here chatting right now.
Yeah.
And this is one of like the pillars of the whatever Guarda stands on. So this is one of this like very, very basic things.
So is that part of what I mean, Guarda, so before Guarda, or before I joined the Zcash community, I wasn't aware of Guarda, and it seemed like you guys just kind of came in and you were like, oh, these shielded features are really cool, and sort of miraculously ahead of any other team that I'm aware of have really done the leaps and bounds of making shielded transactions available on mobile, which Guarda shielded. And it's not perfect, which is to be expected because this is still such cutting edge stuff. But it's impressive that you guys, sort of jumped in and got your hands dirty right away. What's the story there? Like what motivated that?
So first thing is that we have started working with Zcash actually a while ago. We got a grant from the foundation. It was back in 2017, so it was a while ago already. It was just at the start. It was for developing Android libraries, I think, and it was like way before I joined the team. But it was a grant, and it was connecting point in between Guarda and Zcash. So it was the very first like conjunction. And afterwards, when shielded transactions, and we saw the way to make shielded transactions work on Android, and actually kind of develop the separate application and make it work, it was kind of like grab and run. Because this is the feature that you want. It's very special. It's currency specific. It's cool. Nobody else seems to be doing it at the moment. It was like kind of empty, and because we were already working with Zcash, it was kind of an obvious choice. So for us, it was just like, okay, shielded, fantastic. Okay, we're gonna develop a separate app. And so we did. We got it on mainnet very first, and it was fantastic. Like it still needs a lot of improvements, a lot of updates, lots of releases to make it perfect, to make it, but it's out there, and I think that's a fantastic, great thing.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's Guarda shielded or the Zec Wallet Android companion app. Those are pretty much the only options right now for shielded on mobile. So yeah, it's and I actually can't remember which of those came out first, but the Zec Wallet Android app, you have to tether to your full node, so it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah. So ours is lightweight, so you don't have to have the full node for that.
But it's independent.
Yeah, it's like it's more handy from the point of actually like a phone wallet, so like a smartphone. So from the point of actually mobile device, probably it's fair to call it the first one.
Yeah. I can't wait until I can just quickly pay for things with a QR code, and It's been really exciting to see how much progress there's been over the past year in terms of the accessibility of shielded transactions.
Yeah, certainly. And this is very interesting for us as well, because actually this like use cases and how you can use it in the real world. So I have been talking a lot to people who want to actually pay for stuff just in a shop.
Mm-hmm.
It. And I was like, wow, okay, this is something. This is the real use case out there, and this is fantastic. And I want to know these people, and I want to do things with them. This is great.
Ah, there's your enthusiasm again. And see, it's making me all enthusiastic. So now we have like a feedback loop of enthusiasm.
That's okay. I hope we don't like have an explosion here.
As long as nothing explodes, it's probably fine.
Oh, like, wait, if something explodes, it's at least like very dramatic. And
True. That would be a heck of a YouTube video.
Yeah, true.
I also wanted to ask about your personal background and how you ended up at Guarda and what your experience has been.
It's been super weird, to be honest, because like, okay, this is kind of like a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I am a translator. I've been translating from several languages, interpreting, doing some translations for like books, magazines, different kind of stuff, occasional journalism. So it's been mostly writing and
Okay.
also speaking at different kinds of events. And afterwards, I got super depressed and went to work as a bartender. Because like, I don't know, I thought that it's gonna help me, but as a matter of fact, it made it worse. And my friend asked me like, well, dude, you should really do something better. And I have like a real nice position in here that you probably are willing to take. It's like, it's for writing. And I was like, well, okay, that seems like something that I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I became a copywriter at Guarda. I have been working as a copywriter for like a month, then became marketing manager. I was refusing for a very, very long time to become anything related to marketing because I had kind of like a weird perception of what it is, because I've done that actually. And here we go. Like this, in the beginning of this year, I became chief marketing officer, and I'm like, wow, okay, that's been fast. And
that is fast.
It's like I enjoy it really a lot, and I try to teach my marketing team these values that you can do pretty much anything if you have enthusiasm for it. So this is the magic approach, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And you don't necessarily have to follow the like rules. You can do weird things. You can do like experiments. You can talk to people like a human.
Yeah, exactly. This is like, you don't have to be a machine. You don't have to be a bot. You have the rules as such. Like you have common sense, basically.
Yeah.
Don't do super weird stuff.
There's like a limit to the amount of weirdness that's
you can be bold, you can be into experiments, you can do the stuff that is probably a little bit unconventional, that you love, but other people don't necessarily understand. But if you explain it well enough, and if you put it out there, and if it works, it ain't wrong. So
that's a good rule of thumb. If it works, it ain't wrong. So did you, circling back to when you joined Guarda, were you into cryptocurrency at all, or was that coincidence?
Reading some stuff occasionally, so it was kind of like in the backlog. So you see some, I was reading really a lot of different sorts of articles. I was like surfing through so much information at that time. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And it pops out like here and there, and you become interested, and you're like, wow, that seems like an interesting topic. But I was not involved as such. Like I didn't know what technology is. I didn't know how it works. Like I knew some very basic notions. Like I knew what blockchain more or less is, that there's Bitcoin, and everybody seems to trade it a lot. And I was like, oh, okay, well, okay, fine. But it was like very super basic knowledge, and it took lots of time to kind of put it all together, make some kind of like a picture, but it was a super interesting process. So when you actually learn in the team, and then you learn by yourself by trying to filter out all the information and trying to make sense of all of it, it's super exciting, especially if it's such a new field.
So working in a cryptocurrency startup, I mean, all startups have a certain amount of like everyone scrambling to do as much as possible, as fast as possible. But this industry is so volatile and so, I don't know, dramatic and chaotic. How do you go about navigating that? And I guess you specifically, but also the Guarda team. How do you guys like keep your heads screwed on?
I will start with marketing and then go to the rest of the team, because I think in this it makes sense.
Go for it.
For marketing, it's actually good. So it's good to be in chaos, because we live in a hype market. Everything is super changeable. Like, as you said, super volatile. Like things pop up, things die. Like there are news everywhere. There's Twitter, which is crazy. Like prices go up, numbers go down, and you're just there, and you need to think really fast, and you need to monitor it, and you need to act accordingly. So for marketing, it's you need to be comfortable in this surrounding. You need to be very kind of fast-paced. You need to think like, oh, whoa, what's happening around? Okay, grab that. Okay, this works. As for the development, as for the rest of Guarda team, actually it works this way too, in a sense. They need to probably see kind of bigger waves of general interest in particular things. So there are projects. So I judge from the point of the community. For example, when community really demands to support a project that we don't support yet, we're like, okay, that seems interesting. So people want it. Okay, this is like, this goes through our personal evaluation, and we're like, okay, we're supporting. And when it comes to development, they kind of go a little bit above this like old hype, but think of general tendencies, but to think very carefully about what's going on as well, and fast from the point of the things that they do, because they take more time than doing a tweet, definitely.
So maybe an example would be like when Guarda prepped for the YCash fork.
Yeah,
and got everything in place, and
that was super fast. That was insanely fast, because it was one of the cases that like forks are always quite like chaotic in a way, but with YCash it was very interesting, because I got in touch with a foundation, and I was like, whoa, guys, we want to support you. And they're like, hell yeah, you. And then I reached the developers, and they're like, we're supporting. They're like, whoa, okay, that is fine. And it's been very, very fast, really. And then you see that people are interested, that people are engaged, that everybody's talking about it. And you're like, whoo, okay. So every chaotic move, especially that comes from marketing, because everything that comes from marketing is a little bit chaotic. It's when it goes through development, when it goes through their prism, through their work, through their like thought out process, it comes out on the different side already in product, in Guarda, when it's actually a thing. And it's when it resonates in the community, you're like, that's a success case. This is amazing.
And it feels so good, huh?
It feels fantastic, and it feels fantastic for everybody, for all team. And it's really good. Like we literally live for the feedback. We love feedback, because no matter if it's good, if it's positive, if it's negative, we are here to just get it, to think about it, no matter what kind of feedback it is. and to learn from it and to think about it. So this is a very, very important part of the journey.
So it seems like your development process for Guarda is driven by community feedback. Am I understanding that correctly? Or is it kind of...
It's partially, definitely. So like if there is a demand for particular features, for particular coins to be added and stuff like that, we do evaluate the community. So first of all, so if there is lots of interest in a particular thing, we are definitely going to think about it. But also we have the general vision of where Guarda should go. So we do have a roadmap, and we kind of go step by step in the direction where we want to take it. So this is already planned, but there is always room for this community movement that can shape it a little bit.
So how would you describe your community? Like, who tends to be drawn to Guarda? What types of people? I'm sure it's a lot of different.
Yeah, it's very different. Probably the majority of people attracted to Guarda and using it on permanent basis are the ones looking for like a more technologically advanced wallet when it comes to multi-currency apps, because we have lots of features. So this is interesting. We have lots of coins supported. So right now we have like 46 blockchains and 10,000 tokens in one app.
Yeah, it's a ton.
It's a ton. So when you need one app to manage everything, this is definitely a good choice. We have purchase, we have exchange. Soon I'm gonna add more functionality on top of that. We have currency things. So when you're thinking about one app to manage everything conveniently, great choice, definitely.
So you can do pretty much everything all in one application and all in one spot.
That's the general idea. So you don't need you don't need 50,000 apps to manage all your cryptocurrencies. You can just do it in one place and be happy with it.
And there are also since there are also the exchange features, you can also just you can buy your cryptocurrency through Guarda, right? I haven't actually done it myself yet, so I don't know how it works exactly.
You can try it out. So you can purchase your crypto right in the wallet. You don't need anything else, which is great. And also, actually, this particular feature of buying things in the wallet is very attractive for the ones who are just starting their cryptocurrency journeys. And this is why probably the community is so vivid. So there are people who appreciate this like standard functionality and lots of coins and stuff like that. But also there are people who just need something simple, understandable, user-friendly, and where you purchase your very first cryptocurrencies, not going around through different kinds of services. So we really try to just keep it simple, but packed with features, so it's suitable for kind of both ends of the cryptocurrency space. So if you're just starting and if you're already advanced.
Yeah, now that you say that, I can absolutely see how it's reflected in the way Guarda is as an application, at least the desktop. I haven't tried the mobile one yet. That's interesting. So you're both pulling in like the beginners, the newbies, but then also people who are like, man, I'm managing 30 different coins. Like I need something to have this all in one place, which are probably pretty different populations, but they come together.
But there needs to be something that connects them. And this is a handy wallet that they need. So this is hard to deny. If you're managing any kind of cryptocurrency, then you need a wallet. So this is a very, very logical connecting point, and actually make it suitable for all these groups of people who manage cryptocurrencies who are very different, then, well, you're going the right direction.
So, oh, sorry, I was going to ask you something else and I lost I remembered. So is Guarda based somewhere in particular? Like, is the team all in one place, or are you all spread out?
So we are all at one place while we don't travel, basically. So our main office is in Estonia, in Tallinn. I'm always somewhere because I just go around. But mostly it's like Baltics kind of around. There
Uh-huh.
are people who work remotely, yes, definitely. There are people who work remotely permanently, if it's fine for them. Like I could never work remotely, but there are people who can do that. And so this is pretty much decentralized, but the core team meets in Estonia anyway.
Okay, gotcha. Do you want to do one of the questions from Twitter?
Oh yeah, sure. Duh.
All right, I've got one for you. Oh, this is actually interesting. What sorts of issues are you seeing with shielded transactions, and how do you resolve them?
So yeah, I remember this question. This is an amazing question. And the first thing that's very kind of shaky right now with shielded transactions is actual functionality and use cases. So shielded needs to be promoted more, definitely, as a technology, as a way of payment. So it needs to be like brought closer to the real world, in my opinion, at least, because people who are not very much into the ideas of financial privacy, of even cryptocurrency at some point, they would not think of the potential that it's going to have. So it's very like kind of small and kind of far away from everybody else.
Sort
So
of like most people's day-to-day lives, it's very remote.
yeah, it's like it's very somewhere, and it's hard to reach it. It's hard to understand it. So
or to even hear about it.
like it needs to be explained. It needs to be taught. So there needs to be like lots of really education, I think, about why shielded is cool. And the second thing is definitely facilitation. So there needs to be payments, like there needs to be places to pay. There needs to be like actually like not only Android Guarda, but like many more platforms and stuff like that. So it needs to be put into multi-currency wallets. It needs to be out there. It needs to be bigger. So right now it's just my main issue with shielded is just like it's very small. So
it just hasn't been adopted enough, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's not just that it hasn't been adopted; it's that it's inconvenient to adopt.
It's inconvenient to adopt, and it's hard to use at the
and hard
moment.
to understand.
And this is the main thing that probably holds it right now, because I'm not a very tech person, so probably I'm not going to go into all the technical details. I would love to, but sorry, like not my thing. Did study well.
That's me also. When people ask me to explain zero knowledge cryptography, I'm like, there's a great website I could send you to.
Check that out. Check below. Yeah, there are all the links. But this is the problem that I'm having with it, at least.
Yeah.
Adoption.
Yeah. I totally agree. We also got Alejandro Machado asked, how do we replicate Guarda's magical execution prowess across the space? So is it possible to clone the Guarda special sauce?
I think that our special sauce is actually kind of like mayo, but like it's very simple. But let me think. It's a very funny question, and I think that I need to come up with a very funny answer. But it's like 4 a.m. I cannot think of.
I forgot that it's so late for you. You know what? Come up with something funny and then tweet it out later.
Okay, I could totally do that. But right now, I'm just gonna say that you need to think about your project. You need to think about it really well. You need to think about how it fits into your personal kind of surroundings. And you need to do what it takes to take it out there. So probably those are like 3 ingredients to make a kind of special dish sauce. But there is definitely more, because we're also a company.
Yeah.
So we're not just making something in the garage, but it's like it's a bigger project. It's actually like it's much bigger than that. So management, you need to do everything. You need to think the roadmap out. and we're a little bit of like kind of magical crypto enthusiasts, definitely. But also, it takes a lot of hard work to
That's
make it.
always the real secret. Is like, okay, so first step, you work really, really hard.
Yeah, this is like, I didn't want to put it this way, but it's very true. Yeah, you need to work really hard and want to work really hard, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This
kind
is,
of like thrive on it.
yeah. This is like one of the key things. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna come up with something funny and tweet it out.
Oh, good. That'll be like a little treat for the people who watch the interview. Then they can go get like another surprise on your Twitter.
Special bonuses, yeah. Carola actually being funny.
Okay, so last question, which I have a feeling you're not really going to have an answer to, but it's going to be funny to see what you say. Why would some NFL players be obsessed with BTC?
I was waiting for this one. I was waiting for this one, and I was thinking about it for the whole day.
It draws on your expertise with the National Football League.
Yeah,
something that you, Maria, know a lot about, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, my father is a sport journalist, so I kind of know quite a little bit about it. But honestly, I think that probably just football players love things very volatile. They're probably kind of cryptocurrencies for them. I don't think they're there for the technology. It's my personal opinion. I'm sorry if there are any football players watching it and getting upset with my.
There's also always the appeal of just like, maybe I could get rich from this. Who doesn't love the idea of getting rich, right?
Yeah, of course everybody loves it, and like this is what I'm sorry for, because probably there are lovely football players watching this live stream and they're like, oh no, come on, I'm here for the technology. Damn it, no, I love zero knowledge. But this is I think this is kind of like this kind of gamey probably thing. This is like, oh, I'm gonna invest now and then probably I'm gonna get super rich. Like, well, okay, and Bitcoin is definitely the most known cryptocurrency out there. Mm-hmm. There's kind of like an obvious choice. I made this very funny question, not funny anymore, but I hope that I explained my position well.
I think you did, yes. Now I can't stop thinking about what if inside of the football, they put in like a Bitcoin paper wallet or something so that the teams were actually playing not just for points, but for like whoever won the game got the Bitcoin inside the football.
Wow. Okay. This is already kind of gambling. This is the different thing, I guess. But it would definitely make more sense. Like every time I would go to a football game, I would think like, why are they kicking the ball? It doesn't make any sense. But at least if there is something inside, then it kind of like at least kind of justifiable.
I do think you had a good point though when you mentioned that cryptocurrency is kind of like a game, because it's so like things are constantly changing, and there's always something going on that's exciting. People are constantly competing. Like there is a lot of competition. So maybe if you like the competition of football, you might also like the competition of the cryptocurrency world.
But also football is a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
So like in cryptocurrencies, if you find your own community, if you like particular coin, if you like particular company, if you like some kind of implementation, then you're gonna find your people. This like there is also this little parallel, which is very philosophical, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm impressed with myself. But this is something to think about, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and then it does become kind of a team environment because you're all like working on the project together. No, like whatever way it is that you're participating, it's something you're doing with other people and you want to build it up together. So, wow. I guess cryptocurrency is a team sport. We've decided.
Yeah, this is pretty great, actually. I love the way it sounds.
Yeah.
To other people a lot, probably, but it sounds really fantastic.
Well, thank you, NFL players, for getting into Bitcoin so that we had a reason to talk about this.
Yeah, thanks to the person who asked this question. I don't remember, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Wait, I should. It was Jim's ex-wife is their handle on Twitter.
Thank you, Jim's ex-wife. This is a great, great question.
Also a good Twitter handle. It
Yeah.
really, Jim's ex-wife, it's sort of, it almost tells a story, or it's the premise for a story, and you wonder, like, well, why did Jim's ex-wife leave Jim? What did Jim do?
Okay, so if there is a story to this Twitter handle, probably you should message it out to us, because
yeah, we can ask the Twitter user and find out. Well, Maria, thank you for talking to me. I feel like we covered a lot of different topics in a fairly short amount of time.
This is literally from Guarda wallet development to team sports. But
wait, Guarda wallet development is also a team sport, right?
This is like, I don't usually do sport parallels very often, but
I don't either.
Like for some reason today I did a lot, surprisingly. Probably my father would be not upset with me anymore. But it's definitely team sport. You need to know how the team works. If there is something that is kind of lagging in the team, then lots of things are gonna fall apart.
Yeah, and you have to trust each other. Like, everyone has to hold up their part of the deal, and because, like you said, otherwise things start to fall apart.
Yeah, this is definitely, like, everybody has their own responsibilities, but everybody needs to know what other people are doing, how are they doing that, and kind of just like there needs to be this kind of level on which everybody are, and just in case something happens, we need to hold each other.
Yeah.
We need to help each other in like many cases.
I have another football comparison, the football huddle.
Okay, yeah. Way too many comparisons, okay.
Yeah, that's probably enough football metaphors for one night, and it's super late for you. And also, I'm out of question.
Early, because this is like, it's kind of already the time to wake up to work. So
you're right. It's like morning. Oh gosh, please get some sleep. Don't like fall over from sleep deprivation.
I'm doing my best here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining the Zcash Foundation, and maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we won't. We'll find out.
Yeah, I would love to. If my opinion matters here. Okay.
Yeah. It does. And maybe next time we can actually, crossed fingers, I'll figure out some kind of live streaming solution that actually works. And then we could do it live and, talk with the audience while it was happening, because I think that would be fun.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, great, Maria. Thank you. I will post the link on Twitter soon.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sunny. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.